Welcome to the first episode of the You Gotta Get Up podcast.
I'm one of your co-hosts, Elliot Jennings.
And I'm the better looking co-host, Drake Plans. And this is our first episode, the introduction to the You Gotta Get Up podcast.
Oh, it's going to be a blast.
I'm so excited. I've been looking forward to this.
Literally, we've been talking about it like all week. Like for the last multiple weeks, it's been crazy.
You know, honestly, for me, this is like probably like the day I've been looking forward to for at least a week and a half.
No, dude, literally called me at work. He was off today. Called me. I'm on the phone, like not caring about what was going on at all. I got my beats in, and I'm like, yo, this is gonna go crazy. Like all the things that we get so into it, like talking about what we're gonna do, like on the podcast when we're just speaking about it, that like those conversations could literally be on the podcast. Like they could be episodes.
Absolutely.
We literally talked for like 45 minutes to an hour.
Yeah.
And I'm like in the middle of the auditorium. Didn't care. Like I'm like, people are around me. I'm like, please leave me alone. I'm talking about things that are important.
But that's kind of the whole entire concept of the reason why we made this podcast. Well, one is that people at our job both said that, you know, we're just really funny together and that we should have a podcast before we even had the idea for it.
Yeah.
And then the second idea is that we just, at work, we talk primarily about anything and everything, and until they separate us, until we can't talk anymore.
You know, literally people are in cahoots to keep us from like being in the same place because we talk about this stuff so much. Like we're literally, there's either some kind of music going on or something happening in pop culture, and all of it is almost nutty. Like it's crazy. So like they're always like, yo, you guys have to like chill out, and I'm like, or we could not. So
the ops.
Yeah, literally hating. They're hating.
Facts.
It's crazy.
But we just made this. We're making this introduction, basically talking about the reason why we made this and like what for you guys to expect, and also all the exciting things that we're planning on, and then, you know, just the format and all that stuff. But why don't you just tell them a little bit about yourself?
So I'm a singer, songwriter, audio engineer, audiophile, dude. Like I just love everything about music. And
is that a term, audiophile?
Yes,
that's a term.
Funny enough, that's the term for like what we would be classified as, because
an audiophile.
Yeah, we're big like music, and not only music but like sound nuts. Like,
so just a music lover is an audiophile?
Well, no, I think specifically like the production and sound quality. So like the production behind it would be classified as an audiophile.
Interesting.
So like while we're not just people who like everyone likes music, but like people who are like into the makeup of it and what goes into creating it, and like the engineering aspect of it, what goes into like what turns the wheels behind it. That's what classifies as audiophile. Like people who, if we sit around and have conversations about like different plugins, we're freaking audiophiles. Like that's what that is. And yeah, I am just an overall lover of music as well. I'm someone who believes that music is something that brings us all together, and it builds community and builds connections with people. So just really excited to get into the depth of that.
But tell them where you're from. Like,
oh yeah, I'm from originally from DC. I was born in DC, grew up in Northern Virginia, Fairfax County. And I moved to Korea when I was 15 for a couple of years with my mom, and I moved to Nashville to graduate high school my senior year, and I've pretty much lived here ever since, with brief stints back home, but this has pretty much become my home as I've been an adult. So
you have a beautiful wife?
I do have I'm married with a 4-year-old. Well, sorry, he's not 4 years. He just looks like a 4-year. He's 3.5. He's almost 4 years old, and he kind of runs everything in my household. So, yeah.
With another one on the way.
Oh yeah, people don't know that yet though.
Oh my bad. LOL.
It's okay. It's all right. We're good. Super excited. Got another one on the way. And so my house is gonna be full. Probably need to get a bigger one. But yeah, enough about me. Tell everybody about your beautiful face.
Well, I need to. I'm gonna. This is real time. I'm trying to see if this like recording is gonna go and continue extending on, even though it's while recording. Because like right now, I can see like where that line is, and I don't want it to like go like get to that part and it just completely cuts off while I'm talking to myself. So I'm watching it, but I would try my best. So hopefully it continues stretching out. Anywho, this is all editing stuff. So I am originally born in Columbus, Ohio. I moved to Bradenton, Florida. If you know where that is, that's Southwest Florida. 941 represent. When I was a teenager, and then it's still recording. Cool. So 941 when I was a teenager, and then and when I was 20 years old, I moved to Nashville, Tennessee. I've always loved music, especially like when I was like 9 years old. My dad took me to go get guitar lessons, and I was like really obsessed with classical rock. Why did I say classical rock? Classic rock music, and then I started transforming into like different genres like metal, and I started getting into R&B when I transitioned into, living in Florida, where it's a lot of R&B and rap culture, and all that stuff. But then I got really into country music because I am from Ohio, and there's nothing out there, but country music, loved it, and then I moved to Nashville for songwriting. I wasn't necessarily intending to be an artist, but I sat there and people said I had a decent enough voice, and I just started playing in the bars, and I made my living off that for on and off for about 5 years. And but I would, if that's a term, audiophile, then I would say I am. But nowadays I songwrite, I produce people's music. I'm trying to do the artistry thing now, but also doing some mixing work, some engineering work, and all that stuff. So it's interesting to see like how like from like a 9-year-old who just wanted to play guitar to now is like as a 26-year-old as like just completely changed in a matter of like 17 years.
It's really crazy because I think it's so fun how music reaches people at a young age. I also got into music at a young age. My dad plays bass. He used to play with a country folk artist named Mary Chapin Carpenter back in the 90s. And I really got into music myself in church, actually. My dad played at church every Sunday, essentially. And he, like I said, he plays the bass. I grew up playing the drums. My uncle, I used to sit in the little booth with him and watch him play. And, like, that was, like, the coolest thing ever to me to see all his hands and feet going, like, at one time. And seeing how that was like affecting and moving like everything in the entire room. And it was one of the biggest churches in DC, so like it was like full of people, and it was almost like it, like to me, like it seemed like an arena because like I'm like super little. I'm like 3 years old, 2-3 years old, and it's just it's crazy because it's like you're seeing everything move together and seeing how that brought everyone together. It's like love just in the building, everyone, it's a vibe, literally. And like back then I wasn't thinking of it as a vibe, I'm just thinking of it this huge thing. And so like from then on I loved going to my dad's shows and being in the studio, and I didn't start even writing music at all until probably my senior year. I think I did a brief stint in poetry, like just because I was like a teenager, and like probably when I was like 16 years old, and then I turned that into like rap in my senior year. And so like I'm recording like through the back of an old iMac, like not even on a microphone. Right? Yeah, like I had this old iMac, and the microphone was technically on the back, like it was like a strip on the back, and so I used to put a jacket over top of me.
Oh, word.
You know what I'm saying? And do those, and then eventually I got to like a USB microphone, and I thought I was like, oh my god, I'm out of here, right? I'm like
I'm so up.
I'm so up. Like it does not sound like I'm in a freaking mud bucket right now.
Yeah.
And then finally, like I got like my first like regular microphone was still a cheaper one. It was like an Audio Technica like 2020 or so. Oh no, it was an AKG. It was a P220. And when I got that, I was like, you can't tell me anything, bro. Like, literally, I was like, I belong in the studio with your favorite artist right now. Like, listen to me go.
I'm him.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm him.
Then I go back and I listen to my stuff, and I'm like, oh my gosh,
Yeah,
what was
it's
I
kind of
doing,
embarrassing.
bro? Like, I was like,
That's
what?
how I feel about like even like writing songs like 3 years ago. I'm like, what was I doing? But at the time, I'm like, this is gonna give me a publishing deal,
bro.
I'm so up. Everybody's like, everybody's gonna be wishing they had a piece of me in their life. But looking back now, I'm like, I can see why they left me on red.
Yeah.
So that's the reason.
I'm like, don't you get it? I should be rapping with Lil Wayne.
Yo, I should be signed to Young Money Records right
now, bro. Why would be making bread?
Yeah, me and Drake in the studio, right? But
yes.
yeah. So that's a little bit backstory about like how we got into the world of music. But the reason about like how we started doing this podcast, or we got the name for the podcast, is that again people were telling us that like we were just funny together and that we should do a podcast. But then it wasn't until Elliot really sat there and said like, we should do a podcast. And I was like, I don't know, dude.
I
like,
told him multiple before this became like a serious conversation. I was like, bro, we should do a podcast. Like, we're dead hilarious. Like,
we are.
Honestly, like I swear to you, like we would be at work and like nothing was getting done because we're cracking up. It's jokes 100% of the time. Like,
we literally sit there sometimes, we make jokes, and here comes like people coming up to us, and I can't like give them a straight face. I'm just like laughing.
Yeah, like literally trying to get people in the building, and we're like, yeah, please just
get upstairs. Just please get out of my way. But so, fun fact, we both work at the Ryman Auditorium. If you have no idea what the heck that is, it's one of the oldest auditoriums in the entire world, and it's also, I think, the second oldest one in America. But and I work there as museum tour guide, and as Elliot, he works as a security officer. So, but it's just a cool building, and so there's a lot of talent that come through, especially because we love music. There's a bunch of people, jazz, blues, country, rock and roll, and all that stuff. So like, it's pretty cool. But what happened was, I'm not trying to be like spilling your information out, but we had a holiday party, and it was my first ever holiday party. I think you've been to a few.
I've been to like 2.
But you've been working for the company
for a few years.
So but this is my first ever holiday party, and I didn't know that like they had like raffles for like the prizes, and I put most of my stuff in like one thing, right? And then I put in for like a dinner, and I didn't get it. I put some of the tickets in for like a Rustin Kelly poster, didn't get it, and so then they're gonna do the announcements, but I'm like, where's Elliot at? I haven't seen Elliot in like a while. Then I'm like walking downstairs, and there you are, and you're like, bruh, Marlon he won the bet.
All right, so check this out, bro. So look, okay, so there was this one thing, I can't remember what it was. I don't remember if it was to Erykah. I think it might have been the Erykah Badu, or it might have been something. No, it was 85 South.
It was 85 South tickets. 85
South. Okay, so our company, they have like they have seats like they have what would be called like club seats, I guess, like suite seats in Bridgestone Arena. So pretty much every event they have them, and so for the raffles, they give out like suite tickets to multiple events, and you can like kind of try and grab one. This specific thing just wasn't a very popular. It wasn't a very popular
because everybody's like putting in for like the dinners and like the spas and like and the TVs.
You know what I'm saying? Nobody
like
really wanted to go to the
games.
I don't even think anybody really, other than me and Marlon, really knew what 85 South Comedy
was. But we got.
And
how many tickets we get? 10.
We get like 10 total raffle tickets to spread amongst like all the different prizes, which there's probably at least 10 prizes that go in there. Like, well, to choose from. So like realistically, it's a game of like luck, whether you get.
But
anything.
he told me that if you put your stuff in last, that they're gonna just pick the stuff up right off the top. And guess what? I waited till last moment, and I put everything. I put my tickets in, won absolutely nothing.
I can tell you why that happened.
But I also put hold on. I put my tickets in for the Fall Out Boy concert. Didn't get it, but then maybe a potential future maybe like a guest appearance. Her name's Nicole. Shout out Nicole. She thinks I hate her, but truly, she's one of the goats. But she was going. She got those tickets for her and a boyfriend at the time.
Oh my
and then the things just didn't work out, whatever. And then she gave me the tickets, and I'm like, God provided.
Oh my
He
God.
provided, right? And then I didn't even go to the concert anyways. I didn't even go to the
Didn't
concert.
even go. He had the tickets. And he
I
didn't
wasted
go.
the tickets.
Okay, so here's why that didn't happen, right? So the first year that I went to a holiday party, I was the last person to show up to the party before the raffle started. Okay, so I got there, I showed up. They were like, "Yo, you're just in time because we're about to do the raffle, right?" So I was like, "Okay, bet." They were like, "Here's your tickets. You got to put them in like right now, otherwise you're not gonna get a chance." I said, "Okay, bet." I put them in. I put them in for two things. I think one of them was like the Billie Eilish show. I don't even know Billie Eilish music, but I put them in for that because I'm like, it's sweet tickets, and I think that was like, it was like that.
Yeah, it's like free sweet tickets, right?
Free sweet tickets, like, and I've never been in a suite before at that point. So I was like, well, we're either gonna do that, and then it was like some other country acts. I'm like, I don't want to go see country. So I put them in for that, and then I put them in for like an Opryland stay. There was like a 2-night stay for Opryland, and real quick, Opryland is like, it's a Gaylord hotel, and their tickets, I mean, not their tickets, but their rooms are like $500 a night to stay there. So it's like a 5-star hotel. You know what I mean? It's like all full service. You know what I mean? And it's like it's a suite like for
they have a water park there.
They got a water park now. They have
sound waves.
Yo, it's crazy. Like, so I was like, I want one of these things, right? This is how I know it works. I put 5 and 5, and I put them in on top. This is what happened that year. They had a little kid come in who, it was somebody's like son or daughter, and they picked it right up, and they picked them in, right? So they picked them up off the top. So I won back-to-back things, but they only let me get one, and they didn't let me choose which one. Essentially, since I won the Billie Eilish thing, they were like, "Oh, well, you just won. You can't win another one." So they picked another one and then my friend won the Opryland stay.
Wow.
I'm like, I want that instead. Like, take the Billie Eilish tickets, give them to
Please
somebody
give
else.
me the choice.
Give me the choice, please. Like,
Please.
I really want this stay. Like, it would be phenomenal.
Yeah.
Okay. And
This
they
isn't fair.
Yeah, I was like, you didn't even give me a chance. Like,
You chose for me.
But that's why I was like, okay, put them on top. And this time, what they did the complete opposite. They dumped the buckets.
Oh yeah, I was
they
pissed.
dumped them into this tray and then picked them up from the bottom. So like essentially, whoever put them in first was the ones who got them grabbed, right?
I was pissed.
Listen, I put 8 tickets in for this 85 South show. My friend Marlon put in 2, okay? He put 2 in. I don't know if you guys are good at math. That's 80% odds of me winning those tickets.
The biggest parlay of all time.
Bro, I'm like, I gotta get the dub here. I'm cashing it. Easy. No, he won.
That's
I'm
crazy.
hammered, right? Because everyone was giving me
that's when I saw him, like, where did Elliot go? And I'm walking downstairs because it was so loud up there. That
they had some kind of like 80s rock band, even though the theme was like 1950s
Hollywood.
Like Hollywood, which is nothing but jazz.
And so we were like, what is going on? And so then I'm walking downstairs. He's walking upstairs. And then he was like, he won the bet. Ooh. For those who didn't see that, the freaking camera lampstand, whatever the freaking Bob freaking just got completely cooked. Any hoosies. But this is so unfortunate. But Elliot saw me and he's like,
I'm like, bro, he won, and I was like, it doesn't even make mathematical sense.
yeah, and Elliot's drunk, and so we're like, I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, the tickets. He won the tickets. I'm like, what tickets? He's like, the tickets for the concert, for the show. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, it was in my favor. And I'm like,
bro,
whatever are you talking about?
I was literally like, I'm like, bro, mathematically, this doesn't make sense. Like, there's no way. I was wrong. It was 20% chance. And, the 20% happened.
But
that's math.
What happened afterwards, after the whole entire thing, everybody in the place was going to go to Robert's Western World to continue hanging out and drinking after the holiday party, but it was raining outside, so it was me, a coworker of ours named Hannah, my wife, and Elliot, and we're walking down the street, because he had a bus, like a shuttle to pick us up, but it was gonna be too long to get there, so we decided to walk.
was
it's only
raining.
like
I'm
it's like 2
wait.
blocks. It's
Yeah,
like 2
couple
blocks.
So I had a jacket on. I'm fine. It was a
So,
nice jacket.
But Elliot's dressed really nicely. We're all dressed really nice.
Yeah.
And so then we're walking down, but right in front of the Ryman, there's a metal grate right in front of this hot dog stand that's
Oh my
usually
gosh.
right there. And so
Oh
I
my
swear, we're walking there, and out of nowhere, I just see like Elliot just like completely like sweep his like feet up in the air, and I swear I can hear the cartoon sound. I'm gonna try and see if I can add it.
Yeah.
It sounds like this, but I just saw his feet flying up in the air, and he just like bonk right on the ground, and he's like sitting there.
I felt like Lucy pulled the football from
For
under me,
real,
like,
and
it
then
was
he just
crazy.
like he's like sitting on the ground in this grate,
I'm like, oh well, I guess this is it. Like I was like, I'm down for the count.
and then I'm like, you gotta get up, you gotta get up, you can't just stay there. You're embarrassing yourself.
Get up,
right? And so then I don't think Elliot even remembered that at that moment. But then like we finally get to Robert's Western World, and then that was that. But I think that was like kind of the turning point in our friendship. But fun fact, honestly, before like when I first started working at the Ryman, I thought Elliot didn't like me. I was like trying to be cool with him, and I was trying to be cool with everybody else, but I just felt like Elliot was kind of like just like pushing me to the side. I was like, oh, that's not cool at all. But so then like, but over time we just kind of just found out that we both liked music. We started to talk about music stuff, and then obviously through the whole entire progress of like where we are now, and then here we are, and like we're like best friends.
Fun fact: Drake got us stuck in an elevator.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, he got us. We're leaving. He got
Shout
us,
out Nicole again.
Oh my gosh, he got. Listen, we're trying to get out of that. Listen, so where we park, it's in the bottom of like we have free parking, but in order for it to be free, they gave us the bottom deck in an underground parking garage.
Yeah, that's not good.
5 floors down of limestone. There's no cell service. You
LOL.
can't reach anybody. Okay.
Yeah.
This man, we get to the bottom floor to get off, and he like grabs the
I was
doors.
joking though. I was trying to be funny. I didn't think that like my minuscule health of strength would like completely have this elevator have like a fit and just like sit there.
Yeah, he pulls it. And
It was only probably like 2 inches wide open. I'm like, get me out of here! I gotta get out! And I'm trying to like pull the doors open, just joking, but apparently just set off a sensor.
Yeah, and that thing it opened maybe like this wide, and then like it just stopped and it wouldn't close. We're pressing buttons, it won't move. It won't move. It won't open. And I'm like, bro, I swear to God, I'm gonna punch you. Like, I swear.
No, I thought Ellie was gonna beat me up in the elevator. I'm like, calm down, hold on. Don't do anything hasty.
We had to call the freaking. We called
elevator
the elevator
people.
operator and have them try and like manually reset. She's like, okay.
They said just push every button.
I'm like, what kind of advice? I'm like, okay, none of them are working.
But to be fair, though, it's probably best that we're on the bottom floor because like it wouldn't fall down or anything. There's nowhere else to go, so we're on the bottom floor. So I guess it's pretty good. But funny enough, there's a coworker of ours named Ken, and I swear I saw him walking. I could see through that crack. We're like trying to like yell for help, trying to like say like, can anybody hear us? And I could just see Ken like casually like doot 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 doot. He's like, not my business, not my problem. And I'm like, I talked to him next day. I'm like, why did you help us in the elevator? He's like, I didn't hear you.
Yeah,
I'm like, of
oh,
course
I didn't
you
know.
didn't.
He's like, I didn't know. I didn't hear you. You know, who knows? Maybe he didn't hear us. Maybe he had.
But there's only
headphones
2 elevators. There's one on the left hand side. There's one on the right hand side. If we're on the right hand elevator, that means he had to go to the left elevator to walk past us. And we're like, Ken.
He was like, oh, I didn't know.
I didn't hear you. We're the only ones down there.
Yeah, you know, shout out to Ken. He's a really good guy.
No, I love
You know,
that guy,
was-
Mr. Wood.
But that was just a really scary time because I'm like, look, I'm afraid of getting stuck in elevators.
I think
And,
everybody is.
dude, like it's a horrible experience. It's really claustrophobic, and it's like I've always said that like if I'm genuinely stuck, I'm climbing out of that thing and trying to get to another floor. But anyway, that was a funny story from when we met. Like when you see like that being.
And again, I wasn't really that close with Elliot at the point.
that
We're
was
just
one of
becoming
our
friends.
first interactions, and I'm like, bro, are you like you're a goofball?
I'm like
look,
this
you
new
just-
guy, and I'm just getting us stuck in the elevator.
Oh my gosh, like this is crazy right now.
Yeah.
And then like fast forward like a year now, and it's just like literally best friends, and it's like it's really just crazy like seeing where we are now. Now everyone tries to separate us. They don't let us. They don't want us. They don't want us to
fiends.
be great.
Yeah.
They don't want us to have a podcast.
God did. They don't want us to be friends. God did. They don't want us to be successful. God did. But so, yeah, it's pretty funny. But Basically, what you can look forward to on this podcast is just us goofing off like we have been for the past 24 minutes. But it also is including, like talking about conversations about, music entertainment, the industry. We're going to get people on here from the industry talking about certain things. We're going to have our friends on here sharing stories. We're also going to be talking about equipment and, and DAWs.
There's going to be a lot of geeking about
music
technology,
stuff.
music technology, music music creation and contemporary music, like new music stuff that's coming out. There's gonna be a lot, like
song reviews, album reviews. Just
like,
if you love music and if you're an audiophile,
like us, for sure you're gonna want
to stick around. We're gonna have a good time here, and we're really looking forward to this. And we're putting a lot of time and we're putting a lot of energy in this stuff for this. So, and I personally, if I don't believe in it and if I don't see progress or growth into it, it's not worth my time.
Yeah.
And that's with me even doing demos for people or doing production for people. If I don't see value in it, I won't do it.
Yeah, and that was one of the things he told me too. Like beforehand, he was like, I don't like when I first mentioned it, he's like, yeah, I don't know, like I don't like it, essentially the vision like wasn't there yet for it, and we didn't really have any vision when I was thinking of that. I was just like, hey, we should have a podcast, but there was kind of like nothing, like no details about it that were hashed out at all. And then when we kind of finally got talking about it, it was just like, no, this would actually be like a lot of fun to do, and we saw a lot of potential in it, and that's why we finally decided to pull the trigger, and here we are.
But you know what? We have goals. We're striving for greatness.
Yeah.
I believe this podcast is going to bless a lot of people. I believe this podcast is going to help a lot of people in different fields, whether you're in the songwriting field, whether inside the production field, whether inside the engineering field, or if you just like to have, like someone talking to your ear for an hour about whatever.
If you just love music and you want to just learn a little bit about it, what goes into making it, what goes into performing it, like all that stuff, like everything around music, you're gonna learn a lot about that side of the industry, and not just what you hear on the radio or what you hear on Spotify or Apple Music. You're gonna get the how and the why as well as the what. So that's gonna be a lot of fun to help bring you guys.
But we're also expecting to do things like giveaways. We're expecting to get you guys on new music. We're expecting to get you guys involved. But you know what? We're excited for this, and we don't know who's already listening to the first episode, but we love you guys, genuinely. Thank you so much if you got to this part. We really appreciated it.
Seriously.
And I hope you guys stick around for the next part of our journey. But until then, we'll see you guys later.
We'll see you next time.
Peace.
Peace.
Beautiful.